This is such an amazing location that while I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, it would be a bloody waste if you don't. Maybe I could let that slide. Hello everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Side Smile. We are in a different location today.
Yes, we are on a boat.
We are on a boat.
On a big boat. Some might call it a ship.
Yes. Well, you would probably call it a ship more than you would call it a boat.
We're currently on our Norway cruise on the last day, so a sea day on the P&O Iona, which is like the biggest ship that they have, or one of the 2 biggest ships that they have. And we've had a whole week of exploring and going around the Norwegian Fjords.
We have. We're on the last day. We've been on board for, it'll be 7 days tomorrow, won't it? And we're disembarking tomorrow morning.
Very early.
Very, very early. Well, we've been given our time. We need to disembark at 9:15 tomorrow morning. We could go even earlier if we wanted to.
Yeah, and I guess 9:15 will be what it is right now, about 10:15. There's an hour difference. Mm-hmm. So if we're going by how we've been waking up currently, we'll have plenty of time.
We will. I've been waking up quite early, haven't I?
Yes. You struggle to do it at home, but this whole week you've been up at sometimes 6:30, sometimes 7, which in UK time would be 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've slept well, but it's different.
You've just been so excited to be on holiday.
I have. Well, I think the thing is, like, when you're coming into port, it's always in the early morning. So all it takes is for me to wake up at like 6 a.m, as I probably normally would at home, but like half wake up at home and go straight back into sleep. Whereas here it's like, oh, I can quickly look out the window. Where are we? Oh, there's land around us. Oh, that's different. And then I can't get back to sleep after that. Last night I went to sleep at 8:30.
Often, life is a bit like a Souls-like, in the sense of we need to recharge our batteries a lot to get our energy back.
Life is like a Souls-like? What's that mean?
Yeah, that's a video game thing. They're like Hollow Knight or Ori.
Souls-like is a video game.
Yeah, so Souls is a kind of video game, and Souls-like means a game like a Dark Souls. So basically, you can only get your energy, stamina, health back when you rest for a bit or go to a specific place to rest. And that's what life is kind of like for us sometimes,
yes.
Where we just die if we don't get our energy back.
Yeah, there's definitely been times in my life, many times, where I felt like I was dying.
That's just...
So the first thing that we need to talk about is food.
Food in the boat.
Something that we've been most excited about going on the cruise was the food. So you have different kinds of dining options available to you. So you've got the buffet, which is free and it's any time pretty much. And you have breakfast, lunch, dinner menus. You've got, not menus, but like selections, spreads. And then you also have like a late night spread as well.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. And then you have something called main dining, where it's like a sit-down service, but it's still all free. And you're more limited in your menu options, but again, you do get table service. And then you have like specialty dining as well. So there are some restaurants where some things are free, some things aren't, or everything needs you need to pay for. So we've
done a bit of a mix of everything, really.
Yeah, we have. I think my least favourite thing has been main dining.
I agree with you. I think I really romanticise the idea of being able to have sit-down service and a high quality or high standards meal, and food here. And very quickly, I think what we kind of learnt was the food is exactly the same in main dining as it is in the buffet, and both of those you don't pay for. The difference is in the buffet it's self-serve, and in the main dining hall you have table service, a waiter who comes round.
Yeah, so I was recommended that I go to main dining. Because of my dietary needs, you can kind of book 24 hours in advance what meal you want. They'll tell you the menus in advance, because you have to bear in mind every single day the menus change with main dining and the buffet. So I was told, go 24 hours in advance to main dining and you can book your meal and that the chef can ensure that it's allergen free, for my allergies, and it's all vegan and everything else. Something I anticipated was that they would adjust certain meals that weren't otherwise vegan, or maybe had something in that I couldn't eat. But it quickly became apparent that that's not the case. I don't know if that's entirely true, but it felt very much like you'll get what you're given, and we will just wipe the kitchen down to make it so that it's like allergen free. But at the end of the day, if a meal has some kind of bean in, for example, that I can't eat, they don't have necessarily the capacity to be adapting that menu in main dining.
There are lots of opportunities or occasions where actually just by going to the buffet, you're actually getting more for yourself. So if something wasn't vegan, then you could omit it from your plate, but you could also then add things that were naturally, where in the main dining hall you didn't have that. Also, it was just a lot easier and quicker when we didn't potentially have the energy to go into that main dining hall, where they're very busy the majority of the time.
It's worth saying as well, in the buffet, they did still list the allergens in foods.
Better than...
So there was a couple of times, like, I've got a few things that I'm allergic to that aren't recognised allergens. So there are certain beans I can't eat. I have an intolerance to mushrooms. They're not recognised allergens, so they wouldn't necessarily be listed. But that was only an issue once or twice. And by issue, I mean I would dish something up, then see the beans in it, or then see the mushrooms in it.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, okay. And the good thing about the buffet was that I could just leave that plate on the side. I hate wasting food, but I knew that I couldn't eat the thing. Leave that plate on the side, get a fresh one, start again.
I think part of this is why maybe the buffet was slightly easier in some cases, because the communication in the service was also quite poor, I found, where you would ask for something or try to get reassurance on something, and you would sometimes get a very, very vague response, or just no response at all. An example was one morning we were getting teas and coffees, and we asked for oat milk instead of the regular milk, and the person walked off, and we didn't really know if they understood us or were going to do it. And yes, so in that scenario they did bring us the oat milk, but we were there probably waiting 10 or 15 minutes, not knowing what we were getting. And I think that's part of the problem, not the problem, sorry, but maybe it's part of the downside of this particular cruise, where I've just felt in general, on an individual basis, as the service has been not great.
Way that we've been dealing, sorry to interrupt, but the way that we've been dealing with the way that we rate the service is if there's a sound adequate waiter or waitress, we're going, oh, that was amazing service, when actually it's was that amazing service or was that the bare minimum? And we didn't feel
they asked if I wanted a drink when they asked for my meal, or they asked if the food was okay afterwards.
Yeah, and that was that's what constituted for us as amazing service, simply because that wasn't the norm.
Yes.
And I don't feel like we are...
I don't think we're here expecting the Ritz.
No, that's the thing. We're not the kinds of people to want the best of the best with our dining experience. It's not that. If anything, that kind of proper fine dining intimidates me. I'm not looking for that. But I think when I've got a lot of dietary needs, and whether it's due to allergies where it can make me unwell, or ethical reasons, on top of just being someone who is a bit of a people pleaser maybe, I like to feel like the service I'm receiving is quite warm and friendly, and I like to feel like I'm being heard and understood. And even if I am being heard and understood, I like confirmation that that's the case, rather than just hoping that they get it right.
Yeah.
I would definitely say in the buffet, I've noticed, not often, but occasionally, some things that are labelled vegan 1 minute, I go up hours later and it just says vegetarian, for example.
Yeah.
It just has the V instead of the VE. And I had heard that could be the case. I've heard people before say that on the P&O cruises, that's sometimes what happens.
Yeah.
But at the end, for me personally, I'm not allergic to milk. I'm not allergic to eggs. So long as I'm consciously going out of my way to put something on my plate that I am to understand is vegan, I'm not too worried if it turns out that's not the case. Hopefully,
because it's about intention.
Yeah, and hopefully of course, they are labelling things correctly, because if you do have an allergy,
it's important.
That's important. And also, I would like to think that I'm not eating animal products, but I'm not going to not eat in the buffet just in case they've mislabeled something vegan when it's actually just vegetarian.
You have been living your life with desserts this cruise.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, even I have, and I'm not really someone that eats dessert.
You'll eat chocolate.
I eat chocolate, and I have been eating chocolate this cruise.
But the difference is, though, like, there are things in the buffet for desserts. There have been lots of things that you can eat because you're not restricted, as I said, and yet you can be choosy. Whereas for me, I don't feel like I'm restricted because every single day there is at least one different vegan dessert every single day. And it's always like, I had key lime pie, I've had meringue, I've had like chocolate fudge things. I've had like
salted caramel.
Yeah, salted caramel thing. Weird. I've had like a weird like cheese cake, but not, I don't really know what that was, but like that thing with it had like pistachio pesto. I can eat pistachios. In case that confuses anyone, I've got a nut allergy, but there are certain nuts I can eat. There's been lots of... I think there's only been one vegan dessert, maybe two, that I haven't been able to eat because of my allergies.
Yeah.
Everything else...
Usually hazelnuts were in it, right?
Yeah, a lot of the time it was hazelnuts or, you know... The thing is as well, they don't specify what the nut is unless it's in the title. So it might just say tree nuts, so I just have to assume if it doesn't say like a nut that I can eat in like the name of the dessert, I have to assume I can't eat it. I have made a sausage list on my phone. It's not ranking. It's like
I can rank them if you want, but let's go on.
Okay, maybe we should do that. It's not ranking them though. It's I noticed yesterday morning. I think I'd noticed it a few days ago, to be honest, but yesterday morning I decided to make a list of how many sausages Finlay has eaten this cruise. And it's been a lot.
We still have one morning to go and a dinner. There's another one. I'll make note of it later, though.
Really?
Yeah. So ranking the sausages, can I get my list? Can I have a little look?
Let me find the list. Here we go.
The list.
Should we just go from... I've not done it exactly in order, but we'll just go from the top of the list.
So I'm going to say the worst sausage roll. Sorry, the worst sausage was the sausage roll.
Really?
Yeah. Then after that, it would be the hot dog. Sausage was quite tough around the skin. It wasn't very thick. Like a good hot dog, I think, is thick. You know, got a large diameter.
It's girthy.
It's exactly.
It's girthy dog.
Everyone knows that people like a girthy sausage. So then after that, I'm going to go in with the 3 pizza sausages that I had. I'm going to go in the order of salami, douche. Let me know if that's right, and then pepperoni. The pepperoni was good in that slice. After then, I'm then going to go for the Cumberland sausage. Then I'm going to hit the vegan one because I was very, very impressed with that. And then the breakfast. I was preferring the Cumberland to the breakfast, but the last couple of days it's flipped.
Just flipped?
So yeah, Finlay sausage tier list. And I'm a little bit upset there wasn't. There was meant to be a plant-based sausage and mash one night, and that hasn't happened. And
how do you know that was meant to happen then?
I've seen it on many menus. And I got very excited by the prospect of it.
Like on the sample menus online? Yeah.
And it didn't happen, so I've been a bit gutted, to be honest.
Maybe tonight.
If it happens tonight, we'll update the list.
What a meal to end on.
It would be so good.
Vegan sausage and mash.
Vegan bratwurst.
Vegan bratwurst.
Vegan vatwurst and mash. What was your favourite restaurant to eat in?
I really like the Olive Grove. I really like the Olive Grove. I do like the Keys as well, to be honest, but that's not really a restaurant. But yeah, the Olive Grove is a specialty restaurant, but most things are free in there. So it's not like the top tier dining when it comes to money. But I've really liked it because they've just given me bog standard vegan margarita.
The best meal that I've had has ironically been a burger. Which feels like a bit of a cop-out, but the burger I had the Prime Minister at Killing Cow, which is their gastropub. The seating was nice. Like I had a view of the Norwegian coastline as we were sailing through it, and we had some cocktails as well, and they were really good, I thought.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Killing Cow, However, as the overall kind of experience, I'd probably match you on the Olive Grove. It was the fact that it was free. It's both times we've been there, it was quiet enough and the service was actually okay. Let's
like
move
where
on
we
to
went.
the destinations.
Destination
one.
Destination 1. So the cruise itself has been bookended with 2 sea days. So we leave Southampton, you're at sea for a day, and then you start off in a place called Stavanger. And Stavanger was a really lovely kind of first port to arrive at. You start to get a feel for Norway, or at least as far as I understand Norway, in a very kind of nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it wasn't an intimidating experience either, I think, getting off in Stavanger.
No, it was a good easing into the kind of culture. I think Norway, when I thought about Norway, Stavanger was very much what I was envisioning, the kind of architecture that was there, the colour, the culture to an extent. Stavanger was good.
Stavanger was the wettest day.
Yeah, so before coming on this cruise, we bought 2 brand new raincoats because we thought, oh, it's going to be raining every single day. When we looked at the weather forecast.
Yes, that's what the weather forecast said.
It said every single day rain. And it did rain in Stavanger. And when it rained, it was very heavy.
It poured. But it didn't rain the whole time, but when it rained, it poured for sure. Aside from that, like, it was really, really good. And to be honest, that didn't even ruin it in any way.
No, it was a beautiful... if anything, it just kind of gave us that full Norway experience. It was nice to almost be out there in the rain. And this was also the first time that we met, should we call it our favourite couple?
Our favourite couple.
Lauren and Dan, people that we've met on the cruise.
Yeah, really, really nice. We met them. We took some photos of them when we saw they were trying to get a selfie, and then they took some of us. And then we didn't really stop and chat to them. That was it. But then we've met them a few times accidentally since, which has been nice. But we'll get onto that later. But yeah, no, Stavanger was really nice. We went into a few shops, didn't we? We started off by going into a Starbucks.
I really needed a coffee, and anyone who knows me, I'm not a huge fan of Costa.
And they have Costa on board here.
Yeah, Costa is the coffee on board here. And I'm not going to pretend and say Starbucks is the absolute best coffee in the world, but I do prefer it to Costa.
We liked Starbucks.
Yeah,
you know,
I like it.
Getting around that.
I think the aesthetic, and I think the seasonal drinks they have are really nice, and also just the kind of the vibe inside their coffee shops.
Yeah.
We both like. So one of the first things we did in Stavanger was went to go get a coffee. And when we're abroad and we're visiting places, I often try to learn a little bit of the language.
I wouldn't say learn the language, but you try and speak the language. Use the language. Yeah. So we go into Starbucks and Finlay cracks open Google Translate and tries to figure out how to say oat mocha.
Yeah.
And
the gateway to coffee, may I add?
Yes, incredible gateway to coffee. So I can't remember what you said. Herv mocha.
Mocha.
Because it still comes up as mocha, I think.
I would try and access it. I got no Wi-Fi.
Honestly,
I butchered it.
So funny, simply because I didn't know how to say it right. But then the lady behind the counter was like, "What?" in English. She's like, "What?" And then you were like, and then you tried again, and she still didn't get it. So then I said, Finlay, show her your phone with like the Google Translate oat mocha in Norwegian written on his phone, basically. And she looked at it and went, "Oh, an oat mocha." She went, "I'm not even Norwegian." And we were like, "Oh, okay, cool, all right." That was embarrassing.
And I learnt the word for thank you. I think is tack.
Tack.
Or tack. Like there's an
interesting
bit
sound,
of attitude at the end of it.
I think so.
So I kept going into shops and saying tack to people when buying something or leaving, and saying hello.
Hello.
When walking into the shop. Maybe that's just not how you say it at all.
Okay, let's move on. Oh, quickly, we had really good pastries as well in Stavanger. I bought this vegan, what I thought was like a cookie. It was literally like the size of my head. And I think upon eating it, realised it was like a pastry, but it had like this white drizzled icing that looked almost like white chocolate with like these red defrosted kind of berries on the top and like cookie like crumbles on top or something, like almost like shortbread crumbs. Literally the best thing I've ever eaten, I think, in my life. And we just came across that in a bakery in Stavanger, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And then you got a pretzel?
I had a pretzel with like chocolate and nuts on it, I think. Yeah, that was really good too. I ate that all in one day, but you had yours over.
I had like mine over there about 3 days, but we've eaten so much on this cruise. I kind of have to go a day or two without eating.
The pastries on this cruise, on this holiday, have been very good. Even on the boat, the pastries in the morning have been great. Olden's a big one.
Olden is a big one, and Olden is a big one generally. I think for people that go on this cruise, to be clear, I think Olden is the best.
The one, yeah.
Stop. And Olden is the one that they use for their marketing material of this cruise.
Beautiful. The
fjord is incredible. We got up really early in the morning to go to the front of the ship in a place called the Crow's Nest, which is like a bar restaurant. And obviously it wasn't open at that time, but you can still walk in and sit down. And it's got this kind of almost panoramic view of the front of the ship. So as you're going into the fjord, you can see effectively the sunrise, although with the fjord you've got the big mountains, so you don't quite see the sun actually rising. But it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and you've got like the mountains either side of you, and the water is really, really calm. Like you're no longer out at sea as such.
And it puts it into perspective just how big the fjords are when you're going through them, because they're 4, 5, 6 times the height of the ship, and this is a very large ship.
Mm-hmm.
When we had to wake up early to go into the Crow's Nest, I woke up at 6 and looked out the window and saw it was still dark, so I thought there's no point going up now. It's dark, we won't see anything. Went back to sleep for maybe 20 minutes, and then it was suddenly really bright, and I was like, yes, we need to get up now. We watched the sun go up and enter the fjords for best part of an hour and a bit, an hour and a half maybe, and that went from basically entering the fjord all the way to Olden. It was simply fantastic.
Yeah, it was so
seeing
good.
Every bend that you went round opened up with like a new vista that you could see. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Olden itself was, we had one main kind of thing planned for the day, which was to go on this sky lift. So when we got off the boat, went and kind of got our tickets for the sky lift, and got in the queue. There was, probably a half an hour queue for the bus.
And then the bus journey itself was around 5 to 10 minutes. It wasn't long once we were on the bus, until we got off the bus.
And then we saw there was an even bigger queue, which I think all in all with that queue was about an hour and a half. So we probably queued for over 2 hours.
Yeah, and that in that queue was getting on the. Well, actually, it was queuing for the bus. We had the people right behind us who had been Dan and Lauren, we had met the day before in Stavanger and took photos off. So we stood chatting to them, got on the bus, got off the bus, stood chatting to them for another hour and a half in the queue onto the skylift, which was really, really nice. And we got to know them quite well, didn't we?
It was a long kind of 2-hour wait, and then getting in this lift and going up in about 4 minutes, you go up about 1,000 meters.
I think it's about 1,100. Yeah.
It was just looking at how high you were going. I don't think did it justice for when you got up there. It was. We said this a few times now to people, but we got up to the top of this viewing platform, which I'm sure. Give me my one, Jess. You can pop it here.
I'll pop a photo in now.
You're so high up and far away from the boat, and it's sat on such still water in these mountains that it looks like a model boat in a puddle or in a little pond. And that was really crazy just to see. I didn't think it would be that far away and we'd be that high up, but also the boat would just look that small. I think the thing that was even weirder for us, which was completely different to the UK when we've gone hiking in the past, no wind.
Yeah, no wind.
It was really still.
I think the mountains somehow shielded it, but you would assume the higher up you go, suddenly the wind would pick up, and that did not happen.
No, we just kept going higher, and there was still no wind.
It was just still.
And the views were just 360 the whole way around, and every time you would go a bit higher, you get a new view. And we got to see glaciers at the top, and then as you got higher, you suddenly saw that all the glaciers were connected, which was really great. So we did the viewing platform where you get to kind of look over this ledge, and you look down and see how high up you are, and then get really nervous.
We got dizzy quite a few times, didn't we? There was one time so the viewing platform, you kind of have this glass fence, barrier, we'll call it a barrier, but it's like at an angle, the angle facing towards the drop.
Yes.
So it really makes you feel like you're going to fall off, or like it's really like, it's odd. And I remember I had the DSLR, the one that we're filming this on now, and I was like taking photos, and it's fine when you're looking through the viewfinder, but then it's as soon as you take your eyes away, naturally your eyes go down through the glass and down below. And there was one moment it made me so dizzy I nearly fell over. Oh God. What are you doing? Nothing, I just got scared. And then from there, we were taking lots of photos, and we started making our way up another kind of a couple of 100 meters, I guess, from sea level.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different points that you can kind of hike to when you're at the top of this skylift. And we chose to do one of them, and that it's this man-made, for sure, path.
Yeah.
But it feels very kind of engineered around nature. It's all built of like kind of rock from those mountains, we assume. It feels very much like a path in a video game, I kept saying. You know, it wasn't all even and universal. There were big bits, there were small bits, there were little bridges you'd have to go over with stone. And every couple of 100 meters, there were these stone towers built of like thicker stones at the bottom, leading up to kind of smaller stones up top.
Yeah, and it was quite obvious that, you know, hikers had been adding stones to these towers to make them taller, and I was adding them on some of them as we were going up. And then, we took a few more photos, got to the top, and...
Yeah, so we do this thing when we not even get to the top of places, sorry, but when we're abroad or on holiday or visiting a place, we have this thing now where we like to do a jump photo, a bit like High School Musical. Jesse, I'm sure you can pop some in here, like the photos that we've done in different places. And we got to the point where we know that we are really bad at timing our jump for a timer on the camera. So I set the camera up at the very top of this mountain, and we had like kind of the fjord in the background, or one of the fjords in the background, which was really good. And we went to go do one of those jumps, and we did a jump. It was great, and then we did a second jump.
Well, I did a second jump.
Yeah, I didn't do a second jump. I turned and I got onto one knee and proposed to Jess, and we're now engaged.
We're engaged! Eee! So exciting!
But you say that you didn't see it coming, but you kind of also at the same time did.
It crossed my mind, because I know for a while you've been talking, like you've told me for a while now that you've got a plan.
Yeah.
For how you're going to do it.
It's never been a question of if we're going to get engaged. It's been about when and how.
Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if it was, I think it was that morning. I think it was before we actually left the ship. It was either before we left the ship, or it was when we were walking up the mountain. I can't remember which one. I think it was before we left the ship, and I thought, damn, like, I'm not assuming it's going to happen, because at no point have I ever wanted to assume it's going to happen, because if it doesn't happen, I'm going to feel let down. And I don't want, even just this whole holiday or whatever it is, like this whole holiday, I didn't want my expectation to be surrounded by, I'm going to become a fiance on this holiday. I wanted this holiday to be a holiday. This is such a cool holiday. Like, obviously, this elevates it, but this wasn't in my mind because I didn't know it was going to happen for certain. This wasn't what it was about. It was about enjoying a nice trip and a really cool kind of experience, and something that we've worked really hard to come and do as well.
Yeah.
But there were clues.
Don't know what you're talking about. Not a clue.
There was one moment. So the Thursday before we left to come here, Finlay told me, he texted me, I was out somewhere. And he texted me. No, you didn't.
This is a week before on the Thursday.
No, okay, yes. So he told me that he had to go and attend a doctor's appointment with his dad.
That was
Thursday. He said he had to go and attend a doctor's appointment for his dad, and I was a bit like, "Oh, that's random. What is it?" And he went, "Oh, I don't really know." And I was like, "Okay, what do you mean you don't know?"
Yeah, my dad's pretty cryptic.
I'm someone who, like, when I have a question, I'm going to ask the question. I'm not very good at just like I wonder things, I question things a little bit generally. Anyway, I just always have. I don't generally just accept things if I don't have all the information. I'm like, I want to know more about that. You know, like, your dad has quite a lot of doctor's appointments or hospital appointments. Why do you have to take him on this one? And then he said, oh, I think he just wants me to drive him. And I'm there going, but your dad lives much closer to the hospital that he's allegedly going to than we do. And then he said, oh, he likes me to take notes in his appointments. And I'm there going, okay, but like I said, he goes to lots of doctor's appointments without you there.
I mean, you were making this very hard.
I was there, like, suspicious, right? And then when you left to go, I checked your location.
So we have, on Google, we can share locations with each other, and we find it's quite nice and useful, really. One, just to know how far off you are from coming home, or just to be able to check on each other. It's quite nice.
And I just, like I said, I had this gut feeling. I was like, this is suspicious. I'm just going to check his location. And I could see that he had turned his location off 20 minutes prior to me checking it. And he was just, like, he had been driving at that point and he was just at some crossroads. So I was there thinking, that's a bit weird. Like, maybe he's just lost signal, but he's in the middle of a city.
Yeah, it was pretty busy.
Like, why? I was like, why has he just turned that off? But whatever. And then the next thing I check, he's at his parents' house. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then a few weeks before that, it turns out he had gone to pick up the ring.
Yeah.
Just to round that off. So I was right in my suspicions.
So it was quite a busy morning having to do a doctor's appointment and then pick the ring.
Yeah, a doctor's appointment. Yeah. And then a few weeks before that, I was out. Was I at a work thing?
You were at a work
thing, wasn't I?
And I basically was having to wait for you to just organically plan something, because there were a few times where I thought about going to your parents just after football one evening or before one evening. But knowing, one, you could see my location, so you'd know I wasn't at football. And two, if you knew I was going to your parents, you'd want to come too.
Or I'd want to know why.
Yeah.
You'd need a reason. So Finn had told me that, so for context, we don't have a printer at home.
Yeah, we need to get a printer.
We need to get a printer.
That's the moral of this story,
So what I
right?
normally do is I print stuff off at work, but I had taken leave. No, I hadn't at that point.
You were at work.
I was working at that point, but I think it was a weekend.
But I had to wait until you had finished work to tell you I was going to your parents.
Yes. So I was at a work thing.
Work.
Yeah. So I was at a work thing in the evening. I think it was my last day of the week working, because I don't work after Thursdays. Like, Thursdays are my last working days. And you said, oh, I'm just going to your parents to print some insurance documents off for the cruise. And initially I was like, okay, fine. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about the fact I could have printed it at work. I didn't think about any of that.
First thing you said to me, though, when we got home, though.
Yeah, I was like...
To be fair, because I didn't have anything printed off.
But no, the weird thing was, you text me and you said, oh, I'm just having a beer with Patrick. It's really nice. Patrick's my stepdad. I'm just having a beer with him. Yeah. It's cool. It's chill. And then you text me saying, oh, I'm home now. I forgot to print the stuff off at your parents'. And I know my parents. I know my mum and stepdad. And I know you. Like, you're well, you're nearly as forgetful as me, maybe. Maybe I could let that slide. But I don't think you would go to my parents alone and forget the whole reason that you're there and then come home. And even if you did, my parents wouldn't let you leave without going, didn't you come to print something off? So I was there going, this doesn't sound right. And of course, you weren't going there to print something off. You were going there to ask my parents.
Yeah.
/ tell my parents. I don't really know if it was more of an ask or just a heads up.
It was
I don't
an ask.
know. It was an ask.
Yeah, and I asked your granddad as well, and I swore him to secrecy.
Yeah.
Because all I kept getting told was he'll tell people, but no, he kept his cool. Big old Dave.
Big Dave. Yeah. So, yeah, there were signs. And like I say, I remember thinking, like, wait, did I even get to that point, or did I get interrupted? Did I distract myself? Basically, I remember thinking, this is such an amazing location, Olden specifically, that while I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket and, like, assuming it's going to happen here, it would be a bloody waste if you don't. Not a waste, but, like, I don't know how you are to top experience.
Mate, haven't you?
I just don't know how you would have like topped this experience for a proposal than this place, this amazing place.
And
that
I
we're
had
in.
this planned for months. I knew I was going to do it in Olden at the top of a mountain since we booked the cruise, really. I knew before, obviously, the cruise that I wanted to do it this year, but I was trying to understand the best way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we really lucked out, you know. We mentioned that the rain was really bad in Stavanger, and we bought these big raincoats. But we are climbing this huge high mountain in Olden with not a raindrop in sight. Sun, in fact, I would say.
Yeah, loads of sun.
Relatively clear skies. We were incredibly lucky, and it was really quiet in the mountains. We got kind of views that we wouldn't get. It was quiet until, so we had just done the proposal, and as we're kind of there hugging it out, this other couple are kind of walking up behind us. They must have been maybe 100 to 200 meters behind us the whole way. And I don't know if the guy had this in his back pocket. And if you're watching, or even if you know of somebody who's going to propose on a mountain at some point, this was just brilliant. But I have to just assume it was off the top of his head. He walks past us, we're at the top of the mountain. He sees obviously that we're engaged, and he just goes, it's all downhill from here, mate.
That's the first thing he said to us. Which was so funny.
But we didn't clock it was funny. I had completely blacked out. I mean, that whole kind of 5-minute period, it's blurry to me. I've said a few times. I think in general I would manage to keep my cool, but you know that I didn't have my cool because when we were doing the jump, I didn't really jump very well.
No.
We'll also have to keep that picture.
I remember thinking from my peripheral vision, because you were to my right, thinking, oh, my jump was well good compared to his. He didn't even lift his legs up. He didn't even lift his, bend his knees or anything. And then I didn't really have much time to think about it, because the next jump, I jumped properly again, turned to my right, looked down, and you're down on your knee. So it was so nice. It was so, so nice. I loved it so much.
Yeah, the ringers, it's a bespoke one that I've designed and kind of got custom made that we're really happy with. We better be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm so happy with it. It's so pretty. I'll put a picture up.
Yeah, so it's a trilogy with the kind of an organic kind of setting, with colour kind of sapphires either side. But I quite like it, and it wasn't really intended, but the setting is slightly Nordic in the kind of shapes that you see from the side profile. And I think that just kind of echoes back to where this all happened and why it's so special. I think the thing that makes it the most special that I didn't know when getting it kind of commissioned and made, so the diamond that's on the ring, it's a lab diamond because they're more ethical, and that's obviously a big thing with us. But it was actually made on Jess's birthday. So
it was.
If there's any ring that was meant for her, it's this one.
100%. Got pink sapphires around the outside as well, and yeah, it's a really good ring. I love it so much.
So yeah, from now on, I imagine a lot of the topics of discussion in this podcast will be around kind of organising a wedding, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations of that.
It feels quite early days for the podcast to sort of go, we're engaged.
It does. But,
Like, you guys don't know us very well yet. As of today, we have not put up anything publicly, like as the day of recording today being the 19th of September.
It's been really nice to be in our own little bubble. All right, she's a fiance. What are you going to say?
He liked it, so he put a ring on it. So, yeah, we spoke about Olden, and we spoke about how we are now engaged.
Yes. And I've really been liking all of the comments about the ring being a really nice one. And all I can say is, too right. Imagine if somebody was like, that looks like crap.
That's what someone said to us. Not about the ring.
Yes.
Not about our ring, but someone said...
We're at a wedding fair, and they just said that they saw a cousin's ring or something, and everyone's like, yeah, it's really nice.
But they didn't mean it at all. No.
Everyone's totally sincere to us.
100%.
Honey.
Okay, so we... Hawksund. Am I saying that right?
Hawksund.
I think that's how you say it. So that was our third stop.
Yes.
And that was the port that everybody said was like the worst before we got there. People had said like online and stuff that it was like the weakest port. We liked it. I wouldn't say
I
like
agree.
It was... I agree, but it was like good.
It wasn't bad, but if we went there again, I don't know if I'd leave the boat. I'm like, oh, cool, we saw that, it was nice.
Really?
Yeah, I just felt like to go to any of the places that were recommended, I guess, or that you had to travel a fair way, and we didn't do that. So unless we were going to do that again, I don't think I'd get off the boat.
Do what again? You mean?
Oh, sorry, if we wouldn't go to one of the touristy places, yeah. Just because it was walking around basically a high street. Otherwise,
Yeah, in a lot of it did feel like an English high street. It was quite funny.
And there was this cool Viking museum, which we went into the gift shop.
Yes, that was Hawksund.
And there was this huge, lovely town centre. I think we really appreciated the way of living in Norway in Hawksund.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. That's not the port, the excursion, the day that I kind of look back and go, oh, that was really cool.
No, but I liked the difference regardless. Like I don't know if we said this in the last episode, but every port felt really different to each other. And I didn't mind that wasn't like a wow factor for us. Like, it was nice to just see a different side to what Norway can offer. And I'm not upset by it. Like, I think at that point we were kind of ready for a bit of a chiller one.
It was nice to have a calmer day for sure. Yeah.
And that was the day that we got off the boat later as well, wasn't it? So we headed to one of the indoor hot tubs in the morning because we were like, well, people say this isn't a really impressive port. And I think we did the right thing there. It was really nice to just chill that morning.
Yeah, and also just see Hawksund and all of the, I guess, the surrounding beauty from like a high view, because you didn't get any of that when you got off the boat.
Yeah, so you mean when we were in a place called the Sky Dome on the boat, and you get views either side from these kind of big tall windows. Either side of the ship. So we were sat in the hot tub in the Sky Dome, so we could still see it, and we got chatting to somebody in the hot tub, and that was quite a common theme, wasn't it, on our holiday, chatting to people in the hot tub.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was nice.
He was nice. A bit weird at the beginning.
Sorry if
when you're in a hot tub and somebody comes in and is really eager to talk to you, bit weird.
But I felt like in a weird way we were coming across for other people as the eager ones.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know if eager is the right word, but we weren't exactly trying to stop a conversation between people.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that man might watch this, and
he grew on me as it went, but initially my guard was up.
Then I touched toes with him by accident.
Oh, yeah. You were giving him mixed signals.
Not on purpose.
But yeah.
It was crazy. I was just chatting away, and then I just moved my leg and we kind of touched toes, and then you clocked. Everyone clocked it, but no one said anything. Like, he looked at me. I kind of looked around a bit away. I think I looked at you, and then I obviously like quickly retracted my foot, and then I think you then put your foot between us.
Yeah, I put my foot on your foot just to mark my territory.
We literally got engaged the day before.
Yeah, and then she's here trying to have footsie with some stranger in a hot tub.
Some people...
And then comes on the pod and goes, he wasn't weird.
Well, it was me, to be honest, who accidentally extended a foot. Not intentionally.
You're not helping your cause
Not
here.
intentionally. Not intentionally.
Good thing it wasn't a toe ring.
Well, some people have a thing for chasing after what they can't have. He might have seen this ring and gone, I like a challenge. Time to get the dogs out.
You don't shoot, you don't score.
Let's caress our dogs. Let me pet them dogs. Anyway, Hawkson, yeah, that was Hawkson.
Hawkson thought that they had their Marilyn Monroe's dad was from there. Turns out he's not.
Yeah.
But they've got a statue of her there. We didn't see it, to be fair.
We didn't see it, no.
We did see statues in the high street, though.
Where did you read that? Was it in the Horizon, or...?
I think so, yeah. It was on the... I read it somewhere, so it must be true. And then, Hawkson, did we do anything in the evening that day? I can't remember.
Probably. Or was that the day we went to sleep really early?
That might be the day we went to sleep early. It might not.
I think it was. I think I fell asleep at like 8:30.
You were knackered.
Yeah. I don't think that was... Because that wasn't... I don't think that was Olden. I think that was Hawkson that day. Riveting content. Talking about me going to bed early.
We can cut this.
Okay. Christiansand was the next stop, so the next day, which was the last stop as well. And we went for a 10-kilometre walk.
We went for an absolute stomp.
We did.
Stomping.
We went stomping. We went around a national park.
And this was also one of the weaker ports, apparently. But I really enjoyed this. The nature park, yeah, national park that we went through. That I thought that was really, really excellent.
I will put the image of the walk. I'll give Finlay his one. I'm in his one right now. There he is. I will put a picture here somewhere. Or probably just cut away from all the cameras and put a picture in of the walk. Send me that walk.
Yeah, I can. So in Kristiansund, we came off the boat, and you're in a bit of an industrial estate, similar to Hawksand, and they're trying to build, I think, like more tourist-friendly areas there. But we walked basically directly just like north on the high street. Went into a Moomin shop, pop-up shop. That was interesting.
I loved that. I wanted so much stuff, but then you were like, oh, it's all so much cheaper, like the exact same stuff online.
Yeah, from the same shop.
Yeah, just online.
Yeah.
So fair enough. So I didn't get anything.
Have we bought anything yet? No.
Yeah. Oh, from the online shop.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
But we just went north completely to kind of past the touristy area and then into what I guess I would just consider normal Kristiansand area, and went on this kind of national park trail. There were lots of lakes, which we walked around. The weather was incredible on the day. I think I took a pastry with me as well, something that was great. A muffin.
You took a muffin. Did you eat that out there, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
En route, it was great.
We also, once we came away from the national park, we kind of found ourselves in a residential area, which I thought was really cool, because I think it's easy on holiday to stick to the touristy locations. And we weren't that far from the boat, but it was clear that we weren't where your average tourist kind of stomps about. We were at the lakes, and there were these female ducks swimming around. And I like, these ducks started to come towards us. There's only, 2 or 3. And I crouched down and put my hand out, not really expecting it to do anything.
You were just
I was genuinely like, oh, it might peck me. Like, I don't know. I was in a goblin mood.
You were an absolute goblin fiend. No,
My
you weren't a
ADHD.
goblin. You were a troll. We were in Norway.
The hyperactivity was hyperactivitying.
Yes.
And I crouched down, put my hand out, and instead of pecking me or just ignoring me or swimming away, this duck literally leapt at me.
Yeah.
Like tried to leap onto my hand.
Fell off.
And then kind of just...
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was very cute though. I loved it. And
you thought it was
my
great.
takeaway...
You thought this was your like Snow White moment, but it was...
Yeah, no, it was. It absolutely was. My takeaway was that, just like the people, the ducks are friendlier in Norway.
In the UK, they get a knife out and go, "You can't park there, mate."
Yeah. So that was fun.
But the walk was great. I really liked the nature park. It was very hilly.
National Park.
Felt nature park, national park, fashionable park.
Yeah.
And that was lovely. You know, the houses were huge, one thing I noted. And the walk back through to the kind of town centre was nice as well.
I think in Norway, what I've heard from my granddad is that it's quite normal for people to live like with their extended family.
Yes.
Or like they just stay together for longer, and that could be wrong. My granddad isn't Norwegian. But
it's all a blur now. But
it was only 2 weeks, or 2 and a bit weeks ago.
I just remember eating lots of sausages, having a nice time and getting engaged. It's all a bit of a blur. He's absolutely fed up. Look at him. What's he doing?
What a baby.
So the holiday was good.
Oh.
We had a nice time. We found out we're not as good at quizzes. No, I think we did okay on quizzes.
We were better at quizzes than we thought we were going to be.
The problem is a lot of quizzes on these kind of cruises are aimed at an older demographic, and we're young and hip.
We're internally
millennials.
We're internally grannies. I'm not.
You're not a millennial.
I'm a Gen Z.
What am I?
I think you are a Gen Z. I heard you talking about this earlier at work. Yeah. I think you are exactly the cusp of a Gen Z.
Yeah.
I think Gen
1 year
Z
the other way, I think, is millennial.
Yeah.
But
we are probably more like boomers. No, we're not. I'm not being one of them.
You just want to get me cancelled.
That's why I've changed my mind. We're not.
We're
genuinely not. We're nothing like boomers. We are.
Except from, I think that the kids don't work hard enough these days. If they just, stop having the avocado on toast and Netflix, then maybe they get a house.
If they stop watching Side Smile.
No, you got to watch that. You'll get a house quicker if you subscribe and like and follow and watch Side Smile, because there'll be so much good content here that one makes you want to go out and better yourself, but also we'll be giving loads of financial tips.
Yeah.
That should be a podcast within a podcast. I'll invest in something and then
every episode, Finley's financial tip.
Yeah.
That's going to be a segment. No.
Camel. Find out if you're getting a good value on what you're buying on Amazon. I use it for everything.
That's a good tip, actually.
Yeah, you're welcome. Episode 1 of Side Smile Tips with Finlay.
Finley's financial tips.
Finley's financial fodder.
Finley's financial fodder.
Finley's financial fodder. You gotta bleep that.
Love that for me. Yeah, so anyway, yes, we went to go see Alex Mountain as well.
That was really good. It was
Alex
like the
Mountain.
8th time we heard Mamma Mia, but he was fantastic.
Can't complain.
No, we can't. He was one of the highlights, I would say, of the cruise for me.
There was a guy in there that you thought used to work with as well, and the whole time you were there squinting at this guy.
We were there in this bar looking at this musician busker who's playing some really lovely and incredible music, even his own stuff that he was playing.
Yeah.
But I just thought there was this guy, a friend from an old job I had, at the table in the front row, and I only ever had his side profile. And he was near enough to the musician that it didn't look obvious to everyone that I wasn't watching the musician. But I was just so intently staring at this man, trying to think, is that who I think it is? And then I could hear him talk, and I was like, well, he is northern, so maybe it could be. And then the second we left and I got a good view of him, it wasn't him at all. And then we were in the lift with him. And you and I sat there in the lift knowing that I've just spent the last 45 minutes staring at this man.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knew. Imagine if he turned and saw
No,
me.
he
You
was
don't think?
because he was near the front. We were at the
Yeah.
back. There's no way he saw you. Little plug, by the way, for Alex Mountain. So he sung us his new song that was at the time unreleased called Flame. So
Yeah, it was good.
go on Spotify, search Alex Mountain.
And then tell him that Side Smile sent you.
Yeah. Alex Mountain, we're doing you a service.
Yeah, he was great.
He was so good. And yeah, Flame. It was really, really good.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We're currently editing episode 4, and we've realised that we don't have an outro. It's because if you're eagle-eyed, episode 3 directly goes into 4, or we're just about to go into 3 from 4.
This episode has been, as you can tell, a mashup episode. So it's been quite challenging to edit.
It's been a remix.
It's been a remix, and it's been our longest episode yet as well.
So well done for getting this far, number 1. Well done. If you want more financial tips, remember you got to subscribe. But the main thing was we realised we did not have a chance to say goodbye to you guys. So this is going to be us saying goodbye to you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
I really hope that they subscribe.
Yeah, me too.